What's up, everybody? This is Jed Johnson from dieselcrew.com. My camera happens to be low on space, so what I'm going to do is my first ever live video here on YouTube where I recap what happened at the 2020 U.S. Grip Championship. It took place on July 18th, 2020. Before we get into any of that, I want to thank everybody that helped out loading weights. A lot of competitors stepped up and changed weights. Had Mason from my gym here helping me out as well. Uh, I can't say enough about how much it helps to have someone like him that's dedicated there just to load weights, tighten down T-top collars, and things like that. Being a person that both runs a contest and competes at the same time, it can be tough to manage everything. So having him there was huge. Also, my wife helped out tremendously with the data entry and collection and just odds and ends. My parents were there helping out. Luke stepped up a lot with a lot of different things. And like I said, a lot of the competitors also helped out in many ways. So I appreciate everybody that was there. I want to run down the competitors first off, and I'll give you their divisions and their uh, body weights. So we had Sarah Saffel, 169.1, 41 years age, and Melissa Dingy, 246.5 pounds, 42 years of age in the women's division. In the 83 kilo class, we had Andrew Sassow, 179.6 pounds, 29 years old. In the 93 kilo class, we had Tim Butler, 204.8 pounds, 27 years old, and Frank Snyder, 204.1 pounds, 29 years old. In the 105 kilo class, it was Luke Raymond. He didn't quite make weight for the 93 kilo class, or else he would have been in that class as normal. He weighed 211.2, 35 years old. In the 120 kilo class, it was Mike Saffel, 258, 43 years old. Jed Johnson, myself, 259.7 pounds, 41 years old. And then in the 120 plus, it was Jason Dingy, 330 and 47 pounds. We had 4 events at this competition. It was silver bullet in the first event, then two-hand pinch, utilizing 48 millimeters and 54 millimeters only. It is fully adjustable, but we only use those two widths in order to speed the contest up. Next event was 2 3/8 Napalm's Nightmare, and the final event was Little Bighorn. The Here's the scoring system that was used in the silver bullet. If you if you held the 1.5, then you would get 41 to 50 points. If you did the 2, it was 51 to 60 points. 2.5 was 61 to 70 points. Number 3, 71 to 80 points. 3.5, 81 to 90 points. Number 4, 91 to 100 points. And then depending on how long you held it, you got additional points added. 1 to 5 seconds was 2 points. 6 to 10 seconds was 4 points. 11 to 15 seconds was 6 points. 16 to 20 seconds was 8 points. And 21 to 25 seconds was 10 additional points, with the highest you can get being 100 points. That scoring system proved to be a bit problematic and will have to be amended for the next silver bullet contest that I run, and you'll see why in just a moment. But here's the numbers that everyone got. We ran 2 times through, so you would get 60 seconds to try whatever grip you wanted, and if you failed to get a good lock on the silver bullet, then within your 60-second time limit, you could try again on a lighter gripper. And most people got good locks on the first gripper that they tried. I believe there were one or two people that started out high and then had to drop in order to get a legal lock. Once you got the lock on the silver bullet in time within your time limit, then the time limit didn't matter anymore, and your hold time began. And we kept the time on someone's smartphone. So this is what we ended up with. Sarah Saffel on her second attempt did the number 2 for 1.66 seconds. Melissa Dingy on her first attempt got the number 3 for 3.59 seconds. And this is actually the first woman I've ever seen in person do the number 3 on the silver bullet. And there's only been a handful, I think, that have ever done it. Andrew Sasso got the number 3 for 14.57 seconds. And let me go over the points. So, like I said, Sarah did the 2 for 1.66. So that qualified her for 2 extra points. So she got 53 points. The number 3 for Melissa at 3.5 seconds got her an additional 2 points. So she got 73 points. Andrew with the okay, I'm sorry, I read that wrong earlier. He got a 3.5 for 7.38 seconds. So with that 7-second hold, he got 4 additional points. So he ended up with 85 points. Tim Butler did the number 4 on his second attempt for 14.6 seconds. So that gave him 6 extra points. So he got 97 points. Frank Snyder did the number 4 on his second attempt for 8.79 seconds. So that got him an additional 4 points and got him 95 points for the event. Luke Raymond did the number 4 for 3.72 seconds, and that got him an additional 2 points, so he had 93 points. I should also note that Luke, while he didn't make weight for the 93 kilo class, he also hasn't been training for the majority of the last 2 months because he hurt himself pretty severely in April, I believe, on the tips tester. He had a pretty significant injury to one of the pulleys on his right ring finger. Right middle finger. Mike Saffel did the 3.5 for 1.9 seconds. That got him an extra 2 seconds, so he got him an extra 2 points. So he got 83 points on the event. I did the number 4 for 29.93 seconds. So that's actually beyond the ranking that I laid out. So 1 to 5 was 2 seconds, 6 to 10. 1 to 5 was 2 points, 6 to 10 seconds was 4 points, 11 to 15 seconds was 6 points, 16 to 20 seconds was 8 points, 21 to 25 seconds was 10 points. I did 29, so I was actually above that. So I'm going to have to modify this because it actually hurt my score, as Jason Dingy got 23.63. So that got him the extra points as well, and we ended up tying, even though I beat him by about 6.3 seconds. So, just a learning opportunity. I think the last time we did this, I think we might have used a different number 4, so I wasn't able to get. Yeah, the last time well, when I made this scoring system up, it was for the Cupid's Nightmare in 2019, February 2019. And we used brand new grippers, so the number 4 was much harder. So I don't know what I got that time, but it definitely wasn't 29 seconds, or it would have been up around the world record time. So the scoring system worked 2 Februarys ago. This one, it failed us a little bit. So we used a gripper that rates on the Canon RGC at 196. So it's a very light number 4, very old, very light number 4. Okay, so that's incidentally, I'm going to put a link in the description box that will take you to the grip board, and you'll be able to look at all these results at a glance at the grip board. It'll be in the description box. Second event was two-hand pinch, and we ran 48 millimeters and 54 millimeters. So all the competitors had the choice of what they wanted to use. Sarah Saffel decided to do something very strategic, which I applauded. I think it was a great idea. She took 2 attempts at 48 and then 2 attempts at 54 because it had either been a really, really long time since she had trained on the Euro, or she hadn't ever touched one before. And it proved to be a good strategy. In her second attempt, she got 104.6 pounds. Then she switched over to 54 millimeters. She did 112.2, but missed it. Then on her final attempt, she got the 112.2. So ended up being beneficial. At least, she ended up getting a higher lift on the 54 millimeters, the thicker width. So that's good. Everybody else in the contest used 54 millimeters, and let's go ahead and run down the results. It's going to be pretty much in order, not exactly. But Melissa Dingy did 137.98 on her third attempt for a good lift. And then she tried 143.16 on her fourth attempt and missed. Andrew Sasso went 4 for 4. He finished with 193.52 pounds. Tim Butler got his first two attempts, his best being 184.18 pounds, and then missed 193.52 pounds in his third and fourth attempt. Frank Snyder went 3 for 4. He got 208.18 on his third attempt, and then missed 213.36 on his last attempt. Luke Raymond went 3 for 4. He got 218.61 on his third attempt, and then tried 229.14. So made about a 10-pound jump on that. Proved to be a bit too much. Mike Saffel got his first 3 attempts, his best being 193.52. Jumped up about 10 pounds, missed 204.05, and I don't recall how close he came to lifting it. I went 3 for 4, so I did two. My first 2 went well. My third attempt was 243.66, and I hit the stick, and then my left hand slipped off for some reason. And incidentally, on the grip board thread, if you go there, you're going to see that there was some discussion about hand slip, and it's just crazy irony that this came up because I was one of the few people who had their hand slip off, and the question was slipping. Let me see. Does this include? So I said something in the rules about if your hand slips off, it's no good. And the question was, does this include the implement slipping a little and then re-grasping on the way down, or are you talking about dropping out of the hand? I said slipping is one thing, but if it leaves your hand, it's no good. And that's sure enough what ended up happening to me on my third attempt. But on the fourth attempt, I chalked up real well, got everything super tight, squeezed so hard that I ended up having like a brownout, and got 243.66 on my last attempt. Jason Dingy, 2 for 4. His best lift was 234.32, which was about more or less 9 pounds behind me, and he made a 10-pound jump on his third attempt. So Mason told me at the training session last night that Jason was asking for advice on what his next lift should be. And I think what Mason said was I told him to do a 5-pound jump, but Luke told him to do a 10-pound jump. So we went from 234 to 243, which, yeah, it's not exactly 10 pounds, but my weights are weighed. They're not calibrated. So you end up with like 9.5-pound jumps sometimes. And the 10-pound jump ended up being a bit too much for him. At least that's what Mason told me. I didn't hear all that, so I'm not sure what exactly happened there. But if he would have gone with just a 5-pound jump, then it would have narrowed the gap a little bit better. Rather than finishing about 10 pounds behind me, he only would have finished 5 behind me. And you're going to see how much that matters later on in the contest. Event number 3 was the 2 3/8 Napalm's Nightmare. So let's look at the results. Sarah Saffel got 185.88 on her second attempt, missed 195.73 on her third and fourth. Melissa Dingy hit 226.33 on her second attempt and then missed 236.18 on her third and fourth attempts. Andrew Sasso did 351.6 pounds on his fourth attempt. He went 4 for 4. So excellent planning. Andrew's a fairly new guy to grip sport. I think he's been competing for about 2 years. And you can see he's already He's already doing really well strategy wise. On the silver bullet, he did a safe attempt and got 14.57 seconds on the three, and then bumped up to the 3.5 on his second turn and got it. So that's great. Uh, and then he went 4 for 4 on the two hand pinch. He went 4 for 4 on the Napalm's Nightmare. So, you know, I look at that as good strategy. Is he leaving weight on the table? Did he have 10 more pounds in him? 5 more pounds in him? Something like that? Who knows? We don't know that. But at the very least, he didn't end on a miss. So that's good. Tim Butler also went 4 for 4 and then took an extra attempt and missed. So it looks like his strategy was perfect for the day. He finished at 391.2 pounds. Frank Snyder went 4 for 4. He started out at 306.41 and then made a bunch of jumps and worked up to 361.48. He started low like that because he didn't have a really good day when he came up to train with me and practice the event. So he had to start very conservatively and then bumped up from there. Luke Raymond went 4 for 4. He also finished at 361.48. Mike Saffel got 391.2 on his second attempt, then bumped up to 401.05 and missed that on his third and fourth attempts. Looked like he might not have been super comfortable with the implement. I don't think he's had a lot of training on it recently, so that didn't help him out too much. 400 pounds on the 2 3/8 Napalm's Nightmare is a damn good lift, so he's right there where he needs to be on the implement. So I started at 410, went to 421, then 431. I got my first three. Then I tried 439.82, which I think would have been an all-time competition PR for me, but I could barely. I don't even think I got it off the ground, to be honest with you. Jason Dingy, he finished almost exactly 10 pounds behind me at 421.17. So I take 100 pounds in that. He takes almost 100 pounds. He only finished 10 pounds behind me, and his score is figured out by going 421.17 divided by 431.15, which, I mean, it's like 99 point something. So he's not behind me by much. He tried the lift that I got, but wasn't able to get it, and I don't recall how close he was. Bug fly man. That was Napalm's Nightmare. Now we're on to the last event. This was Little Bighorn. So I put this in because it's a severe weakness of mine, and I need to get better at it for King Kong because I got my ass handed to me last year on this event. As it was, I didn't end up doing very much better, if any better, on my all-time competition score on the Little Bighorn at this contest compared to October of last year at King Kong, to be honest with you. Let's run down. We had Sarah Saffel. She got 119. She missed it on her second attempt, came back and got it on her third attempt. She tried 124.71, didn't get it. Melissa finished slightly ahead of her at 124.74. Andrew Sasso, this is the first event where he actually missed. He got 219.91 on his third attempt, tried 224.68, and missed it on his fourth attempt. Tim Butler had a great day on this implement. His training's been going really well. He actually went for the world record, the NAGS, the North American Grip Sport / Grip Sport International world record in his fourth attempt. His best lift was 244.46, and then he tried 255.25, which would have been a new world record. Didn't quite get it. Frank Snyder, 4 for 4, ended with 195.24 on the Little Bighorn. Luke Raymond, who generally does phenomenally on this event, had a hard time due to his lack of training because of his finger injury, and he finished 224. That was second place for the event, 224.68. He also tried 234.53 on his last three attempts, just couldn't get it. Mike Saffel got 200.36 and then tried 210.33 on his last two attempts. Couldn't quite get it. I got 205.21, which is a good lift for me. I don't always get that in training. I got that on my first attempt. Then I bumped up to 214.79, thinking I would get it easy. And I just missed the stick. It was so close. So I missed it on my second attempt, missed it on my third attempt, and then my third time trying in my last attempt, I finally got it, 214.79. And then Jason Dingy finished ahead of me on that one. He got 214.79 on the third attempt and then bumped up to 219.91 and also got that. So, if you've been keeping track, Jason and I finished first and second in the first three events. So I actually finished first. I had the highest score in the first three events. Jason had the highest score in the first one, had the second highest in the second event, had the second highest in the third event. So at this point, after three events, I'm like, my gosh, I need to do well on this little bighorn. It's going to come down to the last event, and did not do as well as I needed to. So he ended up getting 219, which was tied for fourth place. First place was Tim. Second place was Luke. Third place, so they tied for third place. I'm sorry. Andrew Sasso and Jason Dingy tied for third place, and then I came in fourth. And that was enough to really narrow the scores. That really did damage for me. In the overall, I ended up finishing first with 38.79 points. Jason finished second with 38.38. So mine was 0.79. Jason's was 0.38. So only 0.41 points. Less than half a point difference between both of us. Third place was Tim Butler, 36.33 points. Luke Raymond, fourth place, 35.85 points. Fifth place was 34.41 points for Frank Snyder. Sixth place in the overall, Mike Saffel, 33.51. Seventh place in the overall, 33.59. Eighth place in the overall, that was Andrew Sasso, 33.59. Seventh place, Andrew Sasso. Eighth place, Melissa Dingy, 23.31 points. And then Sarah Saffel, ninth place, 19.12 points. So our women's U.S. champion this year with 40 class points was Melissa Dingy. 83 kilo champion with 40 points, Andrew Sasso. He ran with no competitors. Tim Butler was the 93 kilo class winner, 38.85 points within the class. Luke Raymond won the 105 kilo class, uncontested, 40 points. I had 40 points in the 120 kilo class, and then Jason Dingy, 120 kilo plus class, uncontested. Excellent contest. It went very smoothly. We were done. I think we were done by 2:00. If not 2, then we were done by 3. And then most of us got together for dinner at 6:00 at the Wyalusing Hotel. So I want to thank the Wyalusing Hotel for allowing us to come in and act like savages for a couple hours. If you're not sure about how grip sport scoring is done, in the majority of the contests, for each performance, for each event, the number one performance is given 100 points, and then they become the denominator for all the other people in the group. So I got 100 points for the silver bullet, so then everybody else's score, everybody else's points is divided by 100. So it worked out real easy, obviously, because you just put you just use straight decimal points for the points. But if I would have gotten 91, then everybody else's score would have been divided by 91 if I finished first. Okay. So then you get a percentage, you multiply it by 100, and they get that many points. Okay. So then uh, the event number 2 was two hand pinch. So I had the top lift of 243, 243.66. So everyone's score would then be divided by my score to get their points. For Napalm's Nightmare, I got 431, so I got 100. Everybody else's score would be divided by mine. This is for the overall. For the class, it's whoever finished first in the class gets 100 points, and then the other people in the class get divided by that score for their class points. It's real simple. It's the best way to do it. And then Tim Butler got 100 points in the Little Bighorn, lifting 244.46, and everybody else's score got produced using his lift as the denominator. So mine was 214.79. So mine is divided by 244.46, and those are my points for the event. Once you have the points figured out for all the events, then sorry, my phone is vibrating. Sorry about that. Once you have all the points figured out for each event, then you can total them up, and that's how you come up with, my 38.79, Jason's 38.38. The last few contests that I've been in, well, many contests that I go to come down to the last event. It really depends on the events that are chosen. Are they going to be a strength for a person? Are they going to be a weakness? And with the silver bullet, it's definitely a strength of mine. It's just easier to run with the silver bullet. It's easier to get the event over with and done with, because otherwise, for grippers, you end up doing 20 millimeter block set closes, and that's 4 attempts, and that takes a long time. And with this being the United States Grip Championship, I expected a lot more competitors than just 9 people. So I went with something that was going to run quick. That's also why I chose only 48 and 54 millimeters. 54 millimeters is not my best width. My best width is 58 millimeters. But I trained 54 for the contest and was able to make it work. 48 and 54 are 2 very, very common widths, so I felt that would be fair and it would allow us to get through the contest, through the event fairly quickly, because it does take time if you are changing the widths. It does take a lot of time. It's basically an event in itself, especially if you have 3 or 4 people at each width. It can take about an hour for each width. So instead, the event only took us about an hour due to using 2 widths, and of course, due to only having 9 competitors. The Napalm's Nightmare, much more, cut and dry. Everybody uses the same implement. The Little Bighorn, same thing. Everybody uses the same implement. I'm going to be uploading videos to the channel, and actually some videos I've already uploaded. I think so far I've got the 2 hands pinch uploaded. I got some other work to do. I just haven't had time. And but I'll get those up there, and you'll see some variables. Some people stand on blocks for some of the events because it helps them out. So because it helps out some people, I allow anyone to do it, and I actually feel that I get a better pull on the Napalm's Nightmare with blocks. So I even use the blocks. And I think several other guys use the blocks as well for the Napalm's Nightmare. I'm not sure. Maybe you have questions. If you do, then you can leave them in the comments section below, and I might be able to either answer them there or do a follow up video answering the questions in one of my Q&A videos. So, when's the next contest? I know that Chris Andrade is planning on running Gripmas this year, and that takes place in December. I know that Mike Saffel is planning running something in December also. I know that King Kong is taking place. The King Kong of Grip is taking place the last weekend in October. So there are some contests coming up. What I plan on doing for Grip Sport International, which Grip Sport International is the name that North American Grip Sport goes by now because we have so many contests that take place in other parts of the world. It didn't really make sense to just call it North American Grip Sport. So we changed the name to Grip Sport International, but it's really the same exact organization. And what I plan on doing is organizing a series of state championships during the first part of the year and then also regional championships. And those events can carry their own name, but they're going to be recognized as state and regional championships going forward. And that's something that I have planned. And then United States Grip Championship will definitely be run next year. I plan on running. This was actually supposed to take place in February, guys. And I whenever all the stuff hit with the worldwide pandemic here, the contest began to be postponed time and time again. And it finally things opened up in Pennsylvania in June. So I had already, I think what I did is I started pushing it back 2 months each time. So it was supposed to be in February, then April, and then July, or maybe something like that. I don't recall now. It's all on the grip board. And, we finally got it in. And I'm very, very thankful to everyone who came to the contest because it was really a great group. Many of these people I'm very good friends with. Jason Dingy is actually one of my coaching clients, and while it's a little weird to go up against one of your coaching clients, it's good to know that working together we've developed his training program in a way that he's just blowing things up. Um, he's come so far in the time that we've been working together, and it's really been awesome to see him grow. He's probably the most successful client I've had in my training as far as like sheer numbers, and especially for competitors. Not all the people I work with are grip competitors. I work with other people who are they just have goals that they want to attain in grip. As a as a practice, as an interest, grip enthusiasts who might want to lift block weights or close grippers. But Jason has those goals too, but he's also a hardcore competitor. So he's easily the most successful competitor that I've worked with. He's not the first. He's not the first national champion that I've worked with. I've worked with others, but he's as far as numbers, his numbers are just the best. So it's been awesome to see him grow. His training partner, longtime training partner, is Mike Saffel, and he and I have become pretty good friends over the last few months as well, just through interactions through Messenger and on the phone and stuff like that. It's been a real good time, and having him up here to compete, it was it was great. It's my honor to have these guys. He's a main meet director in Ohio, and I can't say how thankful I am to have him come all the way up here, especially amongst the current conditions in the world. And naturally, Jason and their wives came up, which it's always great to see people competing, and it's a family endeavor. That's awesome. And Melissa and Sarah are very, very strong. And I see some opportunities for improvement with technique in both Melissa and Sarah as well as Mike. So I think if they iron those things out, then you're going to see some big numbers. That's the advantage of being able to work with Jason is we've been able to iron out some of his technique stuff. And at this point, his thick bar is like blowing up big time. There's some things where he's far beyond me. Adjustable thick bar, for instance, I would imagine he's probably 50 to 80 pounds better at that than I am. Some other highlights. Tim Butler, over the course of the last year, has lost something. I want to say it's been like 50 pounds. Like he was out of shape for a long time. And he's really dialed in his diet and cut calories here and there through different means. And 93 kilo class, wow, dude. He's just looking ripped, looking great, looking healthy, looking strong. Same with Frank Snyder. When I first met Frank Snyder, and he's 29 years old now. So I met him in like 2008 when he was like 17, 18 years old. He was still in high school, already closing 3.5s. He was massive. And he did nothing but get bigger over the course of the next 4 years when he was in college. And what he's been doing now is just taking a little bit more healthy approach with his lifestyle and training. And now he's in the 93 kilo class. Probably, he doesn't walk around in the 93 kilo class. I think when he came up to train both times, he was like 2012, but he just did the last final cut there in order to get into the weight class and made it. And I hope he sticks with it. It was great to see Luke back in on the platform. I haven't trained with him, but one time since he got hurt. He just came down and tested stuff out and to see how his finger was doing. That's all he did. He has not trained. He's been golfing. I can't think of much bigger waste of time for your life than golfing, but that's what he's been doing. Stuck some fishing in there, did some traveling as well, but lots of golfing. I mean, that's 2 to 4 hours you can't get back, bro. Glad that he was able to compete. Glad that finger is on the mend. It's been a long time, and I know how bad that injury hurts and how bad it can set back your training. So I'm hoping that he continues to climb and progress and get back to his previous form so that he can run amok at King Kong. Andrew, like I said, he when I first met him, you could see that he was very raw, didn't know a lot about technique and things, but he's been putting in the work. He goes to New Jersey. Well, he lives in New Jersey. He goes and visits Tim Butler on occasion, and they train together, and that's been a great investment in time. It's really shown. Like I said, he was able to increase from his first attempt to the second, which doesn't always happen. And a lot of people think it can't happen. It does happen on a regular basis, but it doesn't always happen. And especially you don't go from a 3 to a 3.5 and have success, but he was able to do it. He went 4 for 4 on the first two lifts. And then, what do we say? 4 for 4 on the pinch and nightmare, and then 3 for 4 on the last event. So, and he looked freaking awesome. I had no idea he was that good at Little Bighorn. 100 kilos he lifted. Like 100, it was like 220. 219. So he just about did 100 kilos. 100 kilos is something I've done twice in my training. Twice. 2 times. That's it. Very impressive. So there's a rundown on the contest and all the competitors. A little bit of stuff coming up for Grip Sport International. Looking to partner with more promoters. Looking to help more people become promoters. If anyone's interested in hosting a competition, please let me know. We can get on a phone call and go over that. That's free of charge, and I've done that with a lot of people, and I'm happy to help out as much as I can. And if it's within driving distance, I might even come to your event, and I'd be glad to help out while I compete, if I compete. So let me know. Get a hold of me. You can contact me first through the comments section. Naturally, you can go to dieselcrew.com and contact me through the contact form that's there. You can also, I'll tell you my email address, jed.diesel@gmail.com, jedd.diesel@gmail.com. And if we're friends on Facebook, you can just message me. Instagram as well. I don't care. Let's do this. Let's get connected. All right. I think that's it. Hopefully I'm able to shut this video down and not lose it. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever done a live. I guess we hit the X. Thanks for watching, everybody. Be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and leave comments if you have questions, and share it with your friends who might be interested in the results at that competition. See ya.